Okay, so then the following spring, after the flu epidemic, it would have been 1919.
My folks moved from the country into De Pere, and my grandfather was 88 or 89 when he died, but he didn't know where he was. You know, after being moved in, he didn't have any idea, and my mother decided that she wanted a big house. She had to have something more than she had out on the farm. We didn't have very much room. There were only 2 bedrooms downstairs, and then there was part of the upstairs finished, 1 bedroom, and that was Grandpa's room, my grandfather's. And so when she started looking for a house, she wanted something pretty large. So she got a 4-bedroom home and 3 bedrooms upstairs with a huge hall that the stairs came up to, you know. It was a room in itself, and a bathroom. And then Grandpa was in the room next to the bathroom. And then she had all those stairs to make. Well, she killed herself going up and downstairs. And downstairs they had a large living room, a large bedroom, and a dining room, and a kitchen, and a pantry. She got a big house, and she wanted it. You know,
but it was
pleasant house.
It was too much for her then?
Yeah.
With Grandpa Gwinnett being...
Yeah, well, he was in bed, and he didn't know where he was, and he didn't. And so I went home on vacation. I didn't plan on staying home, but I could see that she couldn't do it. And in those days, they didn't have nursing homes for old people. People took care of them themselves, best way they knew how. And really, I think they were better off. Let them die where they want to die. It's a fact. So, I stayed home. Well, he didn't die until the following year. And, I'd be out of my class, and I'd be out of this, so I decided I'd go do practical work, which I did. I did a lot of it.
And you said it was mostly?
Mostly babies. There were lots of people having babies. Stayed for a while, you know. People stayed home.
Did you enjoy that?
No. Well, it wasn't too long a job. You didn't stay in one place very long.
So you would come and stay right with the family?
No. I didn't go back and forth from home or anything.
Would there usually be a doctor that would be there?
Oh, sure.
When the baby was born?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no wonder you knew so much about delivering babies.
Well,
I never knew
I think
that.
it's coming back. I think midwifery is coming back.
It is.
Because people like to stay home. I stayed home for 3.
We'll tell all that later. It gets better and better. Okay, then you also, or after you did the...
Yes. Then I worked at the sanatoriums, a couple of sanatoriums, one at...
Those were tuberculosis?
Yeah,
sanatoriums.
TB. And...
was it called Hickory Grove?
Hickory Grove.
At De Pere?
And then, I don't remember what the other one was called in Little Chute. And I worked at a fresh air camp for tubercular children. It was a summer camp. Did that. I was doing that just before I was married.
And that, how did you get back and forth to the...
Streetcar.
Sanatorium? So there was a streetcar from De Pere?
From Green Bay to Pocona. And then another streetcar from Pocona that would go to Appleton, and they'd stop at Little Chute. That's how
Did you go for the week and then come
Oh,
back
yeah.
on the
Oh, sure.
weekends? Or did you go every day?
No, you go for the whole week. And then you'd have a half a day off once a week.
Otherwise, you'd work Saturdays too? And
And
Sundays?
Sundays too. Sure.
So would you come home for a half a day?
Yeah.
That was all you had off?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's right.
Mm. So was it on one of those weekends that you were, or one of those half days that you were home, that you went to Sunday Vespers?
That, I don't, oh, well, yeah, but I can't remember exactly if I was working, which place I was working. Hickory Grove was near, you know, it was quite nearby.
Well, you said the fresh air camp was in the summer.
Well, that was at Nina.
Mm-hmm.
So that, when I went there, I stayed there for, if it was 6 weeks,
Oh.
6 weeks or whatever. Well, you could go to church on, we were allowed to go to church on Sunday morning when I was at Little Chute.
Mm-hmm.
She had a church there. And you'd have to take a streetcar to go to the church too. Cars weren't used very much. We never had a car.
Okay, so tell about that Sunday afternoon.
Sunday
That you went to Vespers services
Oh, yes.
at St. Joseph's?
When I met your father?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Merle and I went to Vespers. And there were two old maiden ladies
Say
by the
their
name of Bridget and Mary Malloy. Old Irish ladies. And they weren't at Vespers that day. And they usually, great church people, they'd go to Mass and they'd go to Vespers. And, well, they didn't have anything much to do. So, and they were only about a block and a half from church. And so on the way back then, Merle and I stopped there, and they had company.
But you didn't know that they had company.
No, we didn't know they had company, or we wouldn't have gone in. And so here was your grandfather and his brother and his sister, well, his two brothers and his sister, the whole family.
So
It had been a home to bury his father. The father had died,
So this would have been Patrick Gibbons
Yes.
died.
Patrick Henry, that had died in February, and that's when he died. And Elmer lived in Texas, and Edwin was, I think, in Chicago at the time, and Florence was, well, I don't know whether she...
Was she in Chicago then too?
I can't tell you. She might have been just getting out of high school. I can't remember that, whether she was getting out of high school or had been and was in Appleton.
Oh.
When she went to high school, she went to Appleton High School and helped seal out with her family just outside of town. They lived on a farm about 2 miles or 2.5 miles from Appleton. And that's where she finished high school, or she did go to high school there.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole family, the 4 older ones, never went to high school. Uncle Elmer and your grandfather, or your father, and Aunt Seal and Aunt Catherine never went to high school because they didn't have a high school in the area. They'd have to go away. So they went to normal school. And they had an excellent teacher in the grade school. And all they needed to do was take a test, and they passed. All of them passed.
You said that he taught them trigonometry.
Algebra, trigonometry, anything, everything.
In the grade
He
school.
was just a grade school teacher. But he taught them everything.
So they were able to go right from grade school
Right
into...
from grade. Well, yeah, your father was teaching school when he was 15 years old.
Mhm. So normal school was
A year.
like college?
Yeah, yeah, well, that's what, it was a teacher's college.
Mhm.
After that, after they called it normal school, then it was a teacher's college, and no. But that was it.
Mhm.
Not any of them. Elmer, they were all teachers except Aunt Florence.
I thought Elmer was an attorney.
He was a teacher, Bill was a teacher, Edwin was a teacher, Catherine and Zeal were teachers. The five of them were teachers, and Florence was she worked as a stenographer. She didn't go to college. I think she just went to high school. And, no. And then Elmer taught a few years, and then he decided he was going into law. And your father wanted to
Bill.
be a lawyer also.
Mhm.
But somebody had to run the farm. His father wasn't able to, so he stayed on the farm. But Edwin went to Northwestern University, and he was very brilliant. He was
What's
Catherine and Seal were teachers.
Mhm. I knew Catherine was. I didn't know Seal
And
was.
Seal was a teacher.